My name is Mike, and this is a 2019 Toyota RAV4 in the XLE trim. I'm gonna give you 10 things you need to know about this SUV, starting right now. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike. My channel is Car Mike. If you're looking for opinionated, honest, and real reviews of the car, trucks, and SUVs that I drive, consider subscribing. Hey, before I continue with the list, if you get even just one thing out of this video, would you click that like button? It helps my channel, it helps this video. Okay, before I get going on the list, I wanted to give you some of the basics about this XLE trim. So the XL is the base, and when you move up to the XLE, you get dual climate controls, you get better rims. I think you get a better appearance package overall, which includes the mirrors, which are body colored, the bigger rims, and most importantly, you get this moonroof right here. So I think the XLE represents a great value. So let's get to the list. Number 10, letting you know that this is the #1 selling vehicle in the United States that's not a truck. So 1, 2, and 3 all belong to trucks, but after that, it's this car. And so this represents a really important SUV redesign. And that goes back a year ago, which was the 2018 model, which was before they redesigned to this SUV. And so this is really important for Toyota. It is the #1 selling vehicle in the US. You can tell that they invested a lot in making sure that they got it right. So number 10, this is the #1 selling vehicle in the United States that's not a truck. There it is. Got it. Okay, number 9 is the dimensions. So this redesign, it's 2.5 or 2 inches shorter than the outgoing model. It's 181 inches total length. The wheelbase is a little bit longer, and the clearance is higher than the other one used to be. So it's 8.4 inches in the XLE trim. I also think they made it feel like you sit taller. So they kept it small. I think that it's so tempting for these car companies to constantly grow their vehicles. You know, the Honda Civic is bigger than an old Accord used to be. I think that Toyota has resisted the urge to make this too big or grow it in size. In fact, they made it easier to park while still maintaining the same amount of rear leg room for the back seats and the same amount of cubic feet available when you fold the seat flat. And so I definitely think that Toyota was intelligent in how they redesigned the dimensions of this car without making it grow. Okay, number 8 is the key. So Toyota, along with the redesign of this vehicle, has redesigned their kind of standard key. I'll show you this in a clip, but the main thing you need to know about this key is that it's incredibly light. It almost feels like a generic flea market knockoff version of what a Toyota key would normally be. That isn't to say that it feels cheap. It just feels so light, it makes you think of something that's cheap. It almost feels like a toy key, which then again, it is a toy key. So number 7 is the road sign assist. So there's a camera mounted at the front that is actually reading the speed limit signs and posting what those speeds are on your middle instrument cluster. That's a really cool feature. I haven't seen that in anything else. It also picks up yield signs, do not enter, or wrong way signs, and lets you know right here you're going the wrong way. That can be really useful in areas where you're unfamiliar, like a downtown area where there's a lot of one-ways or something like that. And so that is a feature I think is outstanding and is new. I haven't seen that in another vehicle. Okay, number 6, the interior was designed really well. I like the interior. I feel like the seats are comfortable. They made the space, you know, at this trim level, the seats are durable. They kind of have an off-road feel. They remind me of a Tacoma or a RAV4 in similar trim. The handles have this angular design, which all brings to mind really the 4Runner. I think they were trying to call on their 4Runner heritage to make this SUV feel more sporty or more utility, maybe even a little more rugged or off-road, and they were able to do that. So the interior has good controls, but there's 5 USB ports, there's 4 cup holders in the front, 2 in the back, and so plenty of storage space for all your stuff for a trip. This isn't a large SUV, so it's not pretending to be or anything like that, but you still have room for 4 adults to go somewhere in comfort. Okay, number 5 is Toyota has broke down and decided to add Apple CarPlay. And so they have Apple CarPlay on this system. I believe they'll now start featuring it in all their vehicles. They were one of the last holdouts, and so it works like Apple CarPlay does in any of the systems. I do think their overall control system is improved. I'm not a big fan of their system overall. I don't think it's the easiest to use, but it's functional, and if you own the car, you would definitely get used to it, and there's a lot of depth there for you to figure out. So number 5, they were one of the last holdouts, and they finally added CarPlay. So the MSRP on this vehicle is $27,450 for the base XLE. Now when you start adding options and packages, there's some convenience package. There's a XLE premium package, which adds pleather, or it's the artificial leather, which will last you a lot longer. It feels like leather. That's an extra $2,000 on top of that. And then you move up to the they've got an XSE, I think, which is the hybrid, and then they've got the limited and the adventure package. All 3, the limited, the XSE, and the adventure package, are all in the 33s, so they're within $1,000 of each other. I do think the adventure package looks interesting and is really designed to target the small Jeep SUVs in that adventure rugged category, which has become really popular and was really a big part of the entire redesign of this car to make it more like its 4Runner big brother, or kind of the other Toyota off-road line. So it's an interesting direction for Toyota. Okay, number 3 is this SUV is 4-wheel drive. The powertrain is it's a 2.5 liter dynamic force 4-cylinder. So it does not have a turbo. It's got 203 horsepower, 184 pound-feet of torque. There is no V6 option. Instead of a V6, you can get it. I averaged with this 4-cylinder, not the hybrid, almost 27 miles per gallon, mostly in the city, or kind of a combination driving. So I think that's pretty good. 27 miles per gallon, that's really what I got driving in the city of Houston. Okay, number 2 is the styling update. So you look at this and tell me in the comments, what does this SUV make you think of? Frankly, I think it evokes kind of a weird, strange vibe. It's so angular. They put so much design in making sure that everything is angled. There are so many kind of chiseled, computer-generated angles in the design. I think it's weird. I think it's designed to stand out, to look different than the rounded kind of jelly bean looks that have become so popular or have just become the norm. When you see a new RAV4, it catches your attention, which I think is what they were going for, while evoking a lot of the 4Runner design cues and maybe some of the Tacoma and Tundra. My question to you is, does it work? I'm not sure. I think it does. But then again, maybe there's a reason they're the #1 selling vehicle in the country. So the #1 thing you need to know about this Toyota RAV4 is Toyota calls it the Toyota Safety Sense 2.0. So I talked about that a lot in the Highlander vehicle, and driving this is really similar to that Highlander. It includes the lane tracing assist, pre-collision warning system, the radar, cruise control, lane departure system. and the steering assist, auto high beams. So the Toyota system for safety is built into every trim level. So the XLE definitely includes all those safety features I mentioned, and they are all usable, kind of to the point where I found them to be annoying. If I owned this car, I would find a way to turn a lot of them off, just because I felt like it was constantly trying to drive for me. You know, if you veer at all into a lane next to you, it's trying to steer you back. I don't like that feeling. It's not like I'm all over the place, but I want to be in control of the vehicle. I don't need a computer driving it for me. That's just my take. The safety system is definitely something you should take a test drive and see how you like it. I think it's important because while it is great that it's safe, it's not for everybody. So check it out. That's the list. Thanks so much for watching. Let's get to the gripes. Okay, I'm gonna give you 3 quick gripes. The first one is the seating position. As you can see here, my hips are lower than my knees, and I can't get away from that. I don't like that. I think that is my issue. I'm 6'2", but if you're a bigger person, while I can fit in here, having my hips below my knees is just not a comfortable position. That's the first gripe. The second one is the transmission, which is an 8-speed automatic, is kind of jerky. I felt like at times it was really kind of grabbing the wrong gear, or dropping down when I didn't want it to. So it's not as smooth. I think that also had to do with the safety nannies that really kind of take control of the car. And so I felt like I was driving with, a lot of stuff on me. Like, it just feels like you're not in control of the car. And then the third, I would say, is the styling. I'm not a big fan of it. Maybe you like it, but I feel like it's a little too harsh. I think that they were going for it. Styling is something that's, in the eye of the beholder, but I feel like this thing is just too angular. It's too harsh for my taste. Okay, that's the list. Thanks so much for watching. Again, if you got even one thing out of this, would you click that like button? It helps my videos, helps my channel. Check out my channel for other videos of opinionated, real car reviews by me. My channel is Car Mike, and thanks for watching. Have a great one. There are just police all over the place this morning. Yield signs and other items that, so the police are here.